Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with a Good Morning Portugal show live stream and the podcast. Now, somewhat chaotic start this morning. You may not have noticed. Also, T-Duck, thank you very much for sending me that message. What, 9:40? I don't know why that is, but my show was set up to broadcast at 9:40. I think because there's been a lot going on in the last 24 hours. We have premiered our big teaser. We've had little teasers and we've got more teasers and big teasers. And the big teaser went out last night of the Englishman and the Irishman walk into a bar in Portugal. And they're making a show about it. And we've got 7 minutes to share with you the latest big teaser of what's to come when the Englishman, me, and the Irishman, Bobby O'Reilly, walk into various bars and venues around the country. So I am very proud of that and delighted to be sharing that with you in this half hour. And yet, so much been going on. I was in Alcobaça yesterday going to the Segurança Social office to Finania, or a branch of Finania, the Treasury. And it went really well, I have to say. I did record a little video. I don't think I've got time to squeeze that in this morning because this is probably the busiest show we've ever done on this Feelgood Friday, the 23rd of February. We've got Colleen Showalter joining us from Portugal The Place. I was in her town yesterday. I didn't drop in unannounced. I was on official business. I had a lovely lunch over there. Oh, my goodness. How good was that lunch? A calderada, I think it's called. Let me bring a picture of it onto the screen for you. Do you ever eat at the Intermarché supermarket? Now, look at that. I'm not sure you can get more traditional than that here in Portugal. And at a supermarket cafe, I think it's quite extraordinary. The calderada there is skate wings, I believe I had there, with clams and potatoes and onions and peppers in a lovely tomatoey sauce. It was huge, absolutely huge. And then pudding for afters, which was superb as well, top right, with a coffee. I think all of that was about €9 for their prato do dia, which was how I girded my loins in Alcobaça yesterday afternoon. I took my own medicine. Last week's article, of course, thanks to João de Norte, was this just one thing. Just do one thing, one chore a day. And I took that advice. Actually, I was going to go to Caldas da Rainha to go to the Social Security office. And as I was leaving my town, I was like, you know what? They have a Social Security office in most towns. Why don't I go to Alcobaça instead? And actually, Alcobaça is the administrative town of São Martinho de Porto, not Caldas da Rainha. If you live in Salia de Porto, it is. You go to Caldas da Rainha for your official business. And for the São Martians, the São Martinho de Porto people, we are referred to Alcobaça. And it's a bit quieter over there. I think they can be a little bit more official. And I bore that in mind, but I thought, okay, I'm going to have to gird my loins with a hearty lunch first of all, and there it was. Cup of coffee. Okay, can't delay it anymore. And as I was looking, it's very interesting, isn't it? On I think it was on Facebook where I got the directions to go to the Social Security office. It tells you on there, not as busy as usual. So you can get a little bit of intel about how long you might wait in some of these government offices by referring to Facebook. Went along, took my ticket. And it was raining yesterday here on the Silver Coast. I think it was in most parts of Portugal. And we've got some weather warnings in place, as Nunu told us last night on the Dream Team session, which was amazing. That was all part of yesterday's febrile activity, which I think partly might account for why the show was scheduled for 9:40 this morning. But anyway, doesn't matter. We're here now. So it was raining on the Silver Coast yesterday in Alcobaça. And I think that's maybe why the Social Security office was a bit quieter than usual. Took me a ticket. Did a little bit of messing about on my phone whilst waiting. The usual grumpiness. Have you seen this before? You're sat in a public office in Portugal, and a few other people have got their tickets and they're waiting. And then somebody, probably an elderly Portuguese gentleman, will just mutter something under his breath. Nobody will really take any notice. I don't know what they're saying usually. Well, always, in fact. So they'll be saying, "Ipa," and just grumpily remarking about something. And other people in the room will go, yeah, tell me about it in Portuguese. And I'm like, yeah, right. Whatever you said, I get the general idea that you're peed off with having to wait. That's all of us here, right? But then soon after that, and that gentleman I think was dealt with, I was called in to speak to the lovely Patricia. Did the whole exchange in Portuguese, which I was most proud of. I handed over a piece of paper from my accountant to give to the young lady there. And it was great. She went and did what she had to do, gave me another piece of paper, and now I'm a further step along my indebtedness and bondage to the Portuguese government. Isn't it funny how that can be seem like such a joyous thing whilst it's happening in the moment, and you've mounted and successfully passed over or through another bureaucratic hurdle. But I did talk about bureaucraphobia on the little video I made, which I will put up on the YouTube channel. Yesterday, YouTube channel was ablaze with the premiere of The Englishman and the Irishman. Big teaser, which I'll play for you in just a moment. Let me just get that ready for you. So how are you doing this morning? Lovely to see people amassing the Gumper gathering this morning for this Feel Good Friday on the 23rd of February. Let me get this little movie ready for you. It's 7 minutes, so I suggest you get yourself a cup of cha and sit back and enjoy this, because there's some lovely sunny scenes here in Portugal that I think you'll enjoy, and it gives you the heads up on what we're about to do. And it's going to be it is the introduction to further films to come from Araújo, Tomar, Coimbra, and San Martino de Porto, and others in the future, of course, as well. Please invite us to your town, to your favorite bar, and we'll come along and we'll do a bit of filming in this series. Now, talking of bars, other guests this morning, I mentioned to you, didn't I, that Colleen Showalter is with us at 9 this morning. And although in her town of Alcobaça yesterday, she is known for playing a big part in putting Alcobaça on the map for other people around the world. Of course, it's a vital part of Portugal's historical map, Alcobaça, with the tombs of Pedro and Inês over there, and lots of other wonderful history. Alcobaça is such a beautiful little town, absolutely brilliant place. And I think she's brought it to the attention of many more people around the world, and lots of people are settling in Alcobaça, but not just there. Colleen is going to tell us about another part of Portugal that she's very fond of this morning. Now, I think I need to make sure she's got the link, because I've got so many people joining us. So, yes, okay, we've got Colleen is lined up. We'll be talking to Bia as well I was talking about bars, wasn't I? An Englishman and an Irishman going into said bars. Our first bar guest is Bia, who runs the Black Sheep Pub. It's actually called the Black Sheep Pub in Facebook. Thank you very much, T-Duck, for bringing it to my attention and doing a bit of excellent production work behind the scenes, and talking to Bia about being on the Good Morning Portugal show, which she will do this morning at around 9:20. At 9:30 or thereabouts, around the past, but we're talking to Caroline and Rebecca from Silver Coast Netball. I know about netball. They tell me that netball is not very well known, almost esoteric and occult as a sport here in Portugal. Is netball not a thing in America? Anyway, we'll find out from them at 9:30. At 9:45, we've got Gaby Wehle, and I think she's bringing along her pal, who she's doing the event with on the Silver Coast tomorrow afternoon, which is a frequency lounge with the tinkling. He'll be tickling the ivories. Will Hans Fuecker, who's joining? Well, he's not joining us, but I think his good lady wife will be, who's part of the team doing the frequency lounge with Gaby tomorrow at the Waves restaurant. So whilst we've got two bars, and I'm still yet to tell you about the second bar, it's a contender for the fish and chip prize on the Silver Coast here. Waves, I just mentioned Waves, and that's where you can get fish and chips. The Welsh Bar is another place you can get fish and chips, and we'll talk to Bia about her fish and chips as well that she does. And I've been talking to her about popping into the Black Sheep Bar to go and try her fish and chips as well. So where there was a famine, there is now a feast of fish and chips, certainly on the Silver Coast. I suspect there always has been in the Algarve, but it's a big deal for us over here. on the Silver Coast to have the occasional indulgence of fish and chips. And talking of, before I forget, at 10 o'clock, we're going to stick around a little bit longer to chat with Richard Allen, who, with a team of investors and developers and well-meaning gentlefolk of the Obidos area, have picked up the baton from Simon Gotto at the Rex Bar and are turning it into the Prohibition Bar, which I'm sure will be an amazing, knowing what we know about Richard Allen and Communities Unite, that's going to be an amazing music venue here on the Silver Coast. Formerly the Rex Bar, now the Prohibition Bar, and he's going to be reporting live from the site to give us an update on what the plans are for the Prohibition Bar, for that site, and how things are going over there. So an absolutely packed, eye-wateringly packed show for you this morning. Let's say a few hellos before I play the video, the Englishman and the Irishman big tease this morning. Unfortunately, there is one possible downside, is we haven't managed to finish the subtitling for Bobby O'Reilly. Apparently, when he looked at the big teaser yesterday, he couldn't even understand himself at certain parts. So we'll just have to chuck it out there and see how much of that Irish accent sticks. But we'll see. AI, Google, everybody's working on it, but they're finding it a little bit of a challenge too far, perhaps. Bon dia, Gumpers, from James in. Feliz sexta todos, como va this morning. James is in. Coach Turner's in. We'll come back to your God Squad tip of the day, Coach Turner, after we've had a little look at the movie. Jackie the Humble Crafter. T-Duck. Oh, brilliant. Bayrandi is in as well. And we've got obviously his great event selection coming up from the Gumper Map and what's going on in the Bayrada later on as well, towards the end of the show. Who else is here this morning? Do let me know. Give us a shout out. Oh, Pete's in as well with a simple Still. What's that about? Is that the name of your chainsaw there? Or is that like an acronym that I don't know, but should perhaps be up to speed on? Have you scrapped the usual intro where you think that you aren't on air? Shame, I quite enjoyed that. I can do that. I can do a whole 90 minutes of that if that works for you, Pete, from time to time. That was a close escape, I think, the other day. Mrs. M quite enjoyed that as well. She watched it in on replay and even enjoyed the replay of me doing very little and looking a little bit serious, getting ready for the show and not realizing that was going on. Fantastic. I think I spotted a link at the bottom of your video to see the transcript. Well, I did send Bobby a screenshot of Google's attempt to subtitle him. It wasn't going terribly well. Maybe it reiterates over time. Louise is here as well, lurking here, listening in the background. Lovely to have you here, Louise. So let's have a look at that video now, shall we? I'm going to have a sip of my tea, finish what's left of my tea, and join with you in kicking back and having a look at the 7 minutes of what we're up to and for what you are about to receive more generally from Tomar, from San Martín de Porto and Coimbra and other places as yet to be decided. Oh, and including a booking in the diary for Braga in May. We're heading up north. I think that's going to be amazing. So here it is, everybody. Thank you for the comments we've heard so far. We did premiere it on the YouTube channel, but this is the official premiere on the morning show. Here we go.
Sparkle in your eye, forever young. Every moment, this is life. Take it as it comes. Jump up and reach for the stars. Having no regrets, forever and ever. Always young, forever young.
It's been a truly amazing weekend, Bobby. Thank you.
Welcome.
Do you think this is this where we are now is the pinnacle of experiences in this area?
It's got everything. The whole place. For me, this is. I work all over the world, and for me, this is the only place in the world that I want to work.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because somebody who spends a lot of time around the world and has travelled around the world.
Yeah.
You've chosen here.
Yeah.
Tell us more about why this is so. Oh, we've got drinks coming.
Ah, yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Obrigado. So,
Oh, what you got there?
this is sex on the beach.
Oh, right. You're about to have sex on the beach.
Yeah, you might be lucky.
All right. Well, okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Huh?
I can't see myself living anywhere else in the world except here. Like Portugal's fantastic. It's great.
Yeah.
But for me, being 20 minutes from the city, having paradise on your shoulder, the beach on the other shoulder.
What do you want to show people about Portugal? I mean, a lot of people will be making programs about Portugal, won't they? And introducing people to Portugal. And it's so picturesque, it's so accessible, and quite rightly so. But I think we're looking to go a bit deeper. What's your...
We want to lift the layer off. I want to actually show people the madness side of it as well.
Yeah.
There is a bit of madness in here. You're talking about Barrette de Verde and the bullfighting and the bull running, for instance. Yeah. And it's amazing. It's really, really crazy stuff.
What concerns me is that we're going bullfighting.
Well, we have to go bullfighting.
Obviously, yeah, okay.
And we can stamp on some grapes and things as well along the way.
Yes.
Maybe try a bit of kite surfing and things like this as well.
Right,
Never know.
okay. Right, I don't remember this. but maybe a late Saturday night, that's what I got talked into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think even like if we look at the cultural side of it, what's going on here from a Portuguese point of view. So a lot of the expats sort of stick to themselves. They don't really get in and dirty with the actual, let's say, Portuguese culture.
Yes.
Being and dirty.
Yes.
But
I know what you mean.
But the thing is that there's so much there to discover. Actually, when I moved here first, I didn't go on holidays any other place else. I went on holidays in Portugal.
Yeah.
To discover different parts of it. And like, Castelo Branco, like you go to Coimbra, you go to Aguard.
And you've not even mentioned the Algarve.
No.
That's everybody's idea of a holiday in Portugal. I mean, you might never go to the Algarve. There's enough to do. Central, north, pop into
Absolutely.
Spain maybe. Madeira, Azores.
Yeah, Algarve has its benefits as well, but for me, it's probably the last place I want to go to. So I think no matter where you go, whether you come here, you land in Porto, or you land in the Silver Coast, or Lisbon, or in Tejo, or in Algarve, you're still going to find your piece of paradise somewhere.
Yeah.
So I would invite people to come along on the journey with us.
Yeah.
And see what crazy stuff we're going to get up to over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully they'll like what they see.
Great. How I see it, and I don't know if you agree with this, but I see Portugal as a mysterious maiden with a sort of come hither look.
Yes.
And everyone knows about the Algarve and the Pastel de Natas and all the great things, no question about those, and I don't argue or disagree.
Yeah.
But if you're patient and you're prepared to take or go on a journey or a process, it's like a courtship. And Portugal, the mysterious maiden, will say, okay, you like my natas, so to speak. How about this? How about something...
Starts revealing more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not, if you're pushy, if you're demanding, quite rightly, you're not going to, that's impolite and rude, impudent. And some of the secrets of this country will not be revealed to you. You have to
go investigate. You have to go discover. You have to go on a journey.
Yeah.
And there's so much you can keep going. You're still going to find new things. You're going to find new foods.
Yeah.
Because this country is so different from the north to the south.
Yeah.
In everything from its architecture to its even what kind of its customs, its culture, what they eat, what they drink, how they do it, and when they do it. As you know, it's very, very different to the north. Very different to the south.
Yeah, and I think under the layers of seeming and apparent differences around the country, north to south, east to west, is that same Portuguese soul. And I think that's the thing we fell in love with, first coming here, love at first sight.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't often get love at first sight and then a long, slow, beautiful relationship, do you? It's normally one or the other.
Yeah.
And it seems to me Portugal offers love at first sight and then an unveiling and a developing and a growing love and depth. Oh, there we go. Great job, Andy Klein. Fantastic. Really enjoyed your work there, Andy. What fun to make, and what further fun we are yet to have. And we'll be delighted to be sharing with you the films from Tomar, from San Martino de Porto, and Coimbra to come. We're going to be making another movie in Braga in May. So fantastic. Thank you so much, Andy Klein. Thank you, Bobby. We understood most of what you said. And thank you, Pete, for your commentary. If we ever do it, we don't need to do a director's cut. We can do a Gumper commentary version, can't we, with things like this? Thank goodness Carl has replaced some of the gratuitous sex with crashing waves. We can have trains going into tunnels and then great big chimney stacks collapsing, can't we, as little metaphors like they used to do back in the day. And that is a big chopper. There was a big chopper in there somewhere. That lady was wielding that butchery device, wasn't she? So let's go back to your comments. Thank you so much. We've got a packed show. We need to crack on. Mindful moment then from James. Let us not look back in anger or forward in fear, but around in awareness. How about that? That would be a good little way to a production note for us as we make our way around Portugal, me and Bobby, not looking back in anger or forward in fear, but around in awareness and soaking up all the wonderful things here in Portugal. From James Thurber, that from one James to another. Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz sexta a todos como vão. And a mindful dad joke. I've taken a vow of silence for the rest of my life. I can't tell you how much it means to me. Hey, well done. Bom dia, Gumpers. E feliz sexta, love same on a Friday. Yeah, putting the sex into sexta-feira, everybody. Taking grandson home this morning. It's been, you making your grandson watch this morning while he waits for a lift home. I bet he's thinking, oh no, what is wrong with these people? Taking grandson home this morning. He's probably looking at his phone, right, with his headphones on. It's been lovely having him with us this week. And we've even studied maths together. You are such a good granddad. God's God tip of the day then. To finish our week of little wins. Who doesn't like a little win first thing in the morning? Some thoughts on keeping our minds in good shape. Caveat, these are based on my experience. I'm no professional. Oh, coach, you don't have to say that. It's fine. We love what you tell us, and we're big grown-ups here who can take it either to heart or with a pinch of salt. Isn't it a shame when you have to make such caveats in a slightly defensive way there? But I do understand why. Meditation, mindfulness, it's the times we live in, isn't it? In times of stress, I found being quiet and focusing on relaxing all the muscles in the body. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling it now. Helps to reduce negative thoughts as well. That's right, because whilst you're focusing on various body parts and the relaxation thereof, your mind and your focus is there. You can't be worrying and being anxious and having bad thoughts at the same time, can you? You only have one thought at a time, and you can keep the mind busy like that. Very good. Nice wrap up for the week, says. You've already got a validation here from the Mr. Mindfulness himself. Nice wrap up for the week, Coach Turner. Well, way to bring it all together. Bon dia. And as I mentioned, says Coach, as he continues and resolves or concludes his God's God tip of the day, as I mentioned the other day, exercise produces happy chemicals in your body, and they're absolutely free and can give you a natural high for which for me, says Coach Turner, often lasts a few hours. Of course, feeling fit and healthy is also positive. Isn't that wonderful? If you can combine exercise with nature, you can have a double win. Absolutely. Walking through a forest or along a beach can really raise the spirits, whether alone or with loved ones. Yeah, going back to my cycle along the seafront a few days back that I told you about, Coach Turner, that was wonderful. Bit of exercise with a wonderful view. Works wonders. Superb stuff. Thank you very much, Coach Turner. Have a great weekend. Bon fin de semana to you. And talking, if you have an issue, talk to someone about it. Extra value here from the coach. Preferably somebody without skin in the game. It's good. Yeah, somebody who's not going to take what you say personally. Yes, very good. Excellent stuff, Coach Turner. Thank you so much. Dad joke warning then, the first of many, I think, this morning, sadly. Freddie Mercury, Venus Williams, and Bruno Mars walk into a bar. They didn't plan it that way. Ow. Okay, yes. And I keep thinking you're done. Oh, no, never. No, that's you're talking to Coach Turner there, aren't you? T-Duck with the Bon Dia Alegria Gumpers. Colleen joining us in a couple of minutes live from Alcabasa. I have dad jokes, he says. This is fantastic, isn't it? And I'm going to do these. I think I'm going to star those up along with the lies we tell our kids. They're back as well. Fantastic. How about that? We'll do those with Richard Allen at around 10 this morning, or when we're on site with him. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. The lies we tell our kids. And T-Duck's very own. Well, you can't really own dad jokes, can you? They're kind of free range. organic, and they're very well recycled. But they are from the treasury of T-Duck dad jokes there. He's back. Lastly, he hasn't finished. Lastly, help someone less fortunate than yourself. It can be life affirming. Isn't that lovely? Great advice this morning. Thank you so much for your continued service to the community, Coach Turner. Talking about issues, great suggestion. I happen to know a little bit about that, and you're absolutely spot on. Yes, don't talk with someone with skin in the game. It can go a bit eggy. Good morning, Coach. I tried resistance training, but the pizza box won every time. Usually does, doesn't it? And bon dia from Jackie the Humble Crafter. My mum never lied when she said the ice cream van is only ringing his bells because he's got no ice cream left. Surely that was true. No, sorry to break it to you, but we do have a counsellor standing by, psychotherapy from James, which you can have access to on Monday, on Mindful Migration Monday with James there. Jackie, if you need any help on any of the issues mentioned in the show, please reach out to our helpline on 913-590-303. Bye, Randy. Hola, bon dia, Malta. Looking forward to a fun-packed weekend in Boa, Portugal. And I think we all are. We're getting in the mood for that with a bit of Feelgood Friday fun. And Pete is here as well. Thank you, Pete, for all your funny comments this morning. Let's give her a nice big round of applause and bring her onto the screen. It is Colleen Showalter from Portugal The Place.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Colleen, how are you? I was in your town. Well, assuming you were in Alcobaça yesterday. I was in your town yesterday. It was lovely. You're not.
I was not. I am in Ovar, and I apologize for the echo. I am in a basement of a hotel hiding from 79 Spanish teenagers.
Good move. Yes.
Yes.
I'm surprised we can't hear them. It sounds like you might be in the bunker in the basement.
I am. I went to the front desk and begged them for help because the Wi-Fi has been taken over by teenagers. So they put me in the basement.
Yes. Okay. So they're noisy. They're taking the bandwidth, and they're about to have breakfast. My goodness! And you found yourself.
Yes.
Well, thank you for doing that. Ovar, are we talking about the Ovar up in the Aveiro district?
Yes.
Huh?
It's one of the places that a lot of folks kind of look over as a great opportunity for close to the sea and train lines to Porto. So we've got some folks that are looking for a home. And so I'm here today to look at 6 properties. We're going to try to get 6 properties in between 10 and 4. So that is, yes.
Thanks for squeezing us in. This is what you do, though, isn't it? This is what a normal day looks like to you, right? It's like a TV show.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of funny because, you get going, you're in the mode, and it's like a challenge. I feel like I'm on like some kind of course where it's like, can I do it? Can I get it fit in? And we can make this happen, but it's all remote. My clients are in the States, and so I'm virtually looking at products for them and filming it and meeting with people. And I love Ovar. Ovar is a fantastic area to live. So
I'm
ready to go. I'm excited and I'm happy to be here this morning.
What a wonderful day you have ahead of you. And are you staying in the north for the weekend?
No, I've been up here. So now I'm headed back after I finish up today. I actually have a weekend, knock on wood, which there's a lot here.
There's a lot in there, isn't there?
I actually have a weekend with nothing calendared for the first time in 2 months. So,
that's going to be a bit weird, isn't it?
I'm hoping it holds. I'm hoping it holds because Portugal's amazing and I want to go look at the beach and take a walk with the dog and do all the things I moved here for. So.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you where your favorite beach is as a Silver Coast dweller. But we're going to talk a little bit about the north, aren't we? Because you are synonymous with lovely Alcobaça, which I was in. Your town is so wonderful. Alcobaça is fantastic, and it's the best of both worlds, isn't it? I was doing administrative work because where I live in San Martino de Porto, we are under the wing of Alcobaça rather than Caldas de Rainha. And there's that new part of town, isn't there, where all the government stuff is and a few of the newer shops and so on. And there's a retail park and a green park. And then you've got the beautiful ancient medieval part, of course, of Alcobaça. So really the best of both worlds. And I always know I'm going to have a good time there. And I enjoyed it even more than I thought I was going to yesterday, sitting and having a coffee with the monastery in the distance. It was really great, really good. And the government office that I went to was of a nice small scale as well. So it was nice to be doing my official business there and having my monster lunch, Colleen. This is what I had yesterday in your Intermarché supermarket, the Caldeirada. What a place for lunch. That is proper Portuguese, isn't it? Now,
yes,
you are synonymous with Alcobaça, but you do like other parts of Portugal. And I think that's what you're going to tell us about this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go everywhere. I'm really lucky and so thrilled to get to explore Portugal all the time. And
Mm.
so, I go where the clients are looking, and we've had, it's really random. Like I will go weeks and weeks with everyone asking about one area, and then all of a sudden that goes dry, and then off we go to another part. And right now, everyone's been asking us to go up to the Minho, get up to Viana do Castelo and north. And being an Oregonian, being a woman that grew up on the northwest part of the United States, I am particularly drawn to this part of the country because it has that rugged beauty. It has the mountains coming down with the trees, the rivers, but it's just such a cool kind of different culture, sub-history influence into Portugal with the Celtic influences, Galicia. It has this kind of romantic feel. And so, yeah, I'm kind of thinking that this is the place that for folks that want to get into that nature feel, and maybe they're not as much after the sun every day, but they want that, the mountains and the water and peaceful experiences. This place really draws folks. So yeah, I thought we'd talk about it because there's a lot going on up there. Have you been up much? Have you spent some time up there?
No, so we are planning to go to Braga to do some more of our filming in May. We've got that invitation, and I'm very keen to go to Braga. When we first got to Portugal, we drove in through the Jerez National Park, which is stunning, absolutely amazing. So we lived in the Obidos district, but that area, particularly going to the east, remains a mystery, and I want to go. I think it's probably the least traveled part and least known part of Portugal. Would you agree? The north.
Other than the really rural, eastern border, I feel like for places that people want to go on holiday, or if they want to find a place to settle down that has services and access, it's one that gets overlooked. And the options up there, one thing people forget is if you live in Viana do Castelo or north up to the top of the country, you can actually choose Vigo, Spain as an option to fly from as well as Porto. So you're not as isolated away from travel opportunities or larger cities because you just pop over the river and you're in Vigo, Spain. And from Viana do Castelo, it's less than an hour. So it gives you some options that people don't think about all the time when you relocate, especially Americans. We're like, what do you mean we can go to another country and, do something?
I can just imagine lots of Americans getting out the car at the border, and first thing they realize is there isn't really a border. It's just, there are certain parts of it. It's just a road, and you would hardly know. Maybe there is a sign, but apart from that, there's not much going there. And it's like, and then getting out of the car, enjoying the rugged beauty. James is picking up on this: the rugged beauty, the old trees, the wilderness, the seasons. It has seasons up there.
It has seasons.
Yeah. And then they're standing on the border like Spain, Portugal, Spain, Portugal, Spain, just dancing on the border there. And it is that easy, isn't it? I mean, it's not a big deal crossing between the two countries.
It's about as exciting as driving from Oregon to Idaho. So it does. There's nothing like it's the same as driving to another state. And for me, when we went across the border into Spain, and the time change, that's the hardest thing. It took me forever to realize that. Like my watch and my phone and everything in the car was picking up as you curve along the river. All of a sudden it'd be 12:30, 1:30, 12:30, 1:30, 12:30, 1:30. I'm like, what time is it?
Yes, that's right. You have to deal with that, don't you?
Yeah, because Spain picks up an hour ahead. So you can go to lunch in Tui, for example, at 12:30, finish lunch at 1:30, drive back across and be back in Portugal at 12:30. It's pretty cool.
That is such a good idea. Probably a little bit challenging if you're on any kind of fitness program, but yeah, that's quite an amazing. It's got to be done once, hasn't it? That's or celebrate New Year's twice in much the same way.
Pop across, yeah, exactly. But I don't know if you're aware, but there's a lot of little corners such as Vilar do Moros, and I'm terrible with my Portuguese, so all of you out there, when I butcher the word, please do not ever use my pronunciations as the right way to say something.
Same here. Yeah, I'm known publicly. I think it's on iTunes. One of my podcast reviews is "Do not learn Portuguese from this man." But we've got James here who will help us. He's our pronunciation czar. So he'll help if necessary. But go ahead.
Yeah, so this little stone village just out in the mountains on a beautiful little quiet river was the place of, it is the place of this huge festival. Elton John performed there. It's this random music festival that's been going on out in the middle of nowhere. It has like nothing else happening. It's peaceful. You can kayak, you can swim. There's a gorgeous restaurant there, stone cottages, old Roman bridges. But then once a year, they have this crazy music festival that has had big names and people that just come out there and perform, and they camp and everything. And it's, you know, it's less than 30 minutes away from Viana de Castello. It's just out in the lovely mountain hills. And you can just totally feel like you've left everything behind. And to the point of Ian, your coach earlier, if you wanted to go walk and be outside and just see all of this beauty. One of the things about places like that just really connect with me is when I'm stressed or I'm feeling like I can't manage something, and I walk through these ancient paths with the old Roman ruins and the river and the nature. It's like, okay, this is still here. It's been here. It'll be here long after I'm gone. It's weathered way more storms than I'm dealing with. And it gives you a sense of perspective. You know, like it grounds you, because what you're dealing with today is what you're dealing with, but things continue and you can make it through it and you can find your way out the other side. And this particular part of Portugal has such a sense of peace. It's beautiful.
And that's one of the boxes that's getting ticked, and this is becoming better known to more and more people, isn't it? Is the seasons, for one thing, the variety of climate and terrain that's there, and a little bit of a cooler weather. Yeah. But even though it's cooler at times, that doesn't mean it doesn't also get hot at times as well. So you do get some heat occasionally up there, don't you?
Oh yeah, you do. In the summertime, it's really beautiful. Like Viana de Castello has an amazing season of weather. The summer is very mild. It sits right there on the mouth of the Lima River where it dumps into the Atlantic. So you have the jet stream, just like in Nazaré or anywhere else. It kind of keeps this average temperature. And you can go about 20 minutes inland to Ponte de Lima, and it's cooking in the summer. I mean, we're talking like 100 degrees, you know, it's hot. So you can get the range. And you know what that does is it produces the Vino Verde. It produces the Alvarinho grape, which is, oh my gosh, that is my wine. And
me too.
I love it. And so you get this amazing selection of different, you know, the elevations. There's ground, you know, you're at sea level, and you can go all the way up to about 1,000 feet. They're growing varietals, the same grape with different flavors as it terraces up the hillsides, and the way that they harvest it. So it's fantastic to explore, and you do get all of that wonderful wine, which never is a bad thing.
It's just something about that, isn't it? Fizz does the biz for sure. And the green wine, the Vinha Verde, is not exactly fizzy. It's got a kind of aliveness to it, hasn't it? But that is such a party starter. So it's not only the climate and the environment that lifts the spirits. The Vinha Verde does the same.
It doesn't take, it's not hard to take. And the thing is I thought there was only like one kind. When I moved to Portugal, I basically had Vino Verde, the kind you get at Trader Joe's, or, you know, there was like one or two maybe in the States available. And now that you have all this open to you, there are the really fizzy ones that have carbonation actually infused into them. But then there's also the natural carbonation, which is much more mellow. It's not so much like a soda experience. It has some really nice pop, and there's a ton to choose from. And when you go up there, there's just so many to just sit down and try. You even can have, you have the rosé, Vino Verde, because I think people think it's a green wine. Like it can be, it can be anything. It can be a rosé. It can be, you know, white. There's red, which I still can't get my head around the red one, but it's interesting. I keep going back and trying because I must learn more.
Yes, excellent research. Well done, Colleen. Thank you. Somebody's got to do it. Tough job, but someone's got to do it. And all the backstories, because it tells you so much about the language and the culture when you're drinking Vinha Verde. Green because it's fresh and new, immature, not green because it's green in color. And the bottle shapes and the little corks and the cork cages, it's such a lovely culture. The Vinha Verde culture is emblematic, isn't it, of that region there.
Even the way they terrace the grapes, the way that they bring them up off the ground and everything, it's such a different experience than the vineyards farther south.
Yeah, incredible. I want to ask you as well about where the Silver Coast meets the Green Coast, and whether you use that terminology. We, of course, Silver Coast, I think, that doesn't just include the coast, is it? The Silver Coast we're talking about, for example, includes Alcobaça and Caldas de Rainha now, Foz do Relho, São Martinho de Porto, Nazaré. Some people call where you are and Aveiro still the Silver Coast too, and right down as far as Ericeira. Do you go with that classification?
Not really. I think it's like a marketing thing. In a lot of cases, people want to like tag on to what's really popular. They're distinctly different. I mean, Aveiro in Ovar, where I am right now, it is it's really based around the estuaries and the lowlands and the way the rice and salt flats, all of that contributes to a completely different weather pattern, the agriculture, everything that's in this particular area is very, very different. And then when you head down towards Ericeira and you get down along that area, you're bumping up against Sintra Mountain, and then the weather changes. I feel like Silver Coast is very specific, and that you have to be very careful about just making everything in the middle as the Silver Coast, because they do start to change dramatically. Ovar, for me, I don't know if people haven't been to Ovar. What I love about this is you can be in Ovar and you can be in a city that has a beautiful park, gorgeous historic center. The community is amazing. You have the beach, and then you can just hop on a train and in less than 30 minutes be in the center of Porto. And you have multiple train service. And I think for some, you get the best of both worlds. You have a smaller town that you can really dig into and live in, but you have that connection that I'm envious of, that they can just get on a train multiple times and go into Porto.
We don't have a very good train network, do we, on the Silver Coast here? And wouldn't it be wonderful if Alcobaça was on the train line? And Obidos, I think, has a station, but that's way out of town, isn't it? Maybe these things will come in time as we reinvent public transport, because we might need to. I've heard Silver Coast is simply a marketing label by non-Portuguese. Yeah, I've mentioned the Silver Coast to Portuguese people. A lot of Portuguese people don't even know the Silver Coast exists, so it may well be a real estate marketing thing. And then there's the Green Coast. Costa Verde. Now that's going up to Povoa de Varzim and the beaches north of the Porto latitude. Do you call it that? Is that a marketing thing, or the Portuguese, did they give us that name?
I haven't used that term because there's so many choices. You get up to Matosinhos and Vila do Conde and those areas. Yes. It's really a specific city by city for me when we get up there, as opposed to kind of a regional thing. When I bounce north of Viana do Castelo and the Minho, that's when I'll use the Minho region. That's when I'll start talking more about a region. But I don't really divide it into the Green Coast. I haven't used that. And I love what the comment is here about the province and the modern day Vinho Verde region. It is...
it goes back to 1908 as a designation. That's some history, isn't it? That's fantastic. Leela, go on, Colleen, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, of course, the history up there is separate because, Galicia, the whole, the bit with the Celtics and the separate kingdom. I am so fascinated. I feel like it should be Game of Thrones when I go up there. Like, I want to be like, who's these Galicians? I want to be part of this. Like, it's so cool that there's this subgroup with this totally different influences, and the construction, the granite, the festivals, the way that they've integrated different things. It's the history just changes. You get away from the Moor influence, you get away from all that, and then you've got this other side. So it's fascinating and so much more to learn.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is the first of your regular monthly residency, and I can't wait to hear more of your passion for Portugal, as we're hearing this morning. And João do Norte is pleased that you're another convert to the beauty and offerings of the Minho region. Was Alcobaça your first taste in the Silver Coast? Was that your first taste of Portugal? And now this is occurring as a new thing?
No, so I'd been on holidays a couple of times, and we'd never gone north of Porto before we moved here, but we'd spent time all around different places like the Alentejo, of course, around Lisboa, Setúbal, those kind of areas. And then we didn't stop except for Obidos. We did the obligatory tour where you go up and down and you go to Coimbra and you stop in Obidos and you go back to Lisbon. That was all that I knew until we landed sight unseen in Alcobaça.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, so all of this to see. And I don't know how much you saw of the film earlier on, but would you agree that whilst you make that distinction, and it is absolutely true, I think you're absolutely right. You've got the Moorish influence and the Galician influence in the north, and things change around the country, and the food changes and the wine changes, but the soul remains the same. The Portuguese soul, that to me is ever present wherever you go in this country. Would you agree with that?
I think that is so true. In fact, everyone is so proud to share once they learn that you're here and you get over the question of why did you move to Portugal? Why did you choose Portugal? You know, and you go through that, then they just are so excited to share their regional foods and their love of their area, and then also Portugal itself. And I think that the Portuguese are genuine in their commitment to their community, the people that they just share in a way that I feel, compared to all the other countries I've traveled to, the Portuguese really want you to see how much they love it and feel like they're very cautiously proud. I don't know. It's cautiously proud of their country.
That is, I've never heard it put like that. And I think that is absolutely right. Cautiously proud. It's like, you like it then? Hell yeah, I love it. So I'm so
And you're
glad.
like, oh, like you really like it. And it's like, yes. And you know, it's a fantastic, there's just such a genuine feeling of excitement when you connect, when you get it. And then the only thing in the north for me that I still struggle with is I'm still learning Portuguese. As you can tell, my pronunciation is a struggle. And the accents in the north, of course, you start to get the regional accent, and they, like, the big one is the V to the B and that kind of thing. So I
Yes,
struggle.
Villarreal. That's right.
Yes. So that's something to take. The only thing I'm excited about right now is after 3 years, I can tell. I don't understand what they're saying, but I can tell that they're not from the center of the country. I can tell they're from the north.
Well, don't you worry about your accent, because the great thing is you don't. It doesn't stop you trying, does it? And I mean, in the same way that you're embracing this country culturally, I think you're getting in there and getting on with the language as well. And I think that's the right approach, quite frankly. Let's have a look at a few more of the comments that are coming, because there's talk of wolves. That's another part of the beauty of the north, isn't it? Some of the incredible wildlife. We've got Louise and Antonio talking about seeing wolves possibly.
Wow.
Now, I'm looking at a Portugal news item here from this last week, a couple of days ago. There are 300 wolves. Did you know that in Portugal? And there's one captured on a camera there. Iberian wolf has been photographed next to a road in the center of the village of Paredes de Cora. According to a report by Ominho, the photo was shared on Facebook, and its author states the animal wanted to cross. Why did the wolf cross the road? The avenida. There must be a good answer to that. I'm sure the Gumpers are working on that as we speak. But I'll just blow that up a little bit. And that lovely kind of curiosity of the wolf, but a little bit of timidity as well. And that funny way that they stand, that I think distinguishes them from looking like a dog there. That's incredible. So we have wolves, 300 wolves here. The link as well.
I think I saw something about that, but I haven't. The wildlife, I find this interesting. I don't know how many of your viewers are from the United States or the Northwest, but in the Northwest, we have a ton of wildlife: skunks, possums, every little small rodent, up to deer and coyotes and everything. And the roads, unfortunately, are littered with their, most unfortunate experiences as the drivers go by. Portugal's roads are like clean. I don't know what happened to all the little critters. There's like no animals on the road. I've never had to brake for like a raccoon going across the road, or like, so even in the north, as wild as it is, I still have yet, like, I'm yearning for a squirrel. Like, where are the small little rodents? I'm just curious.
Some say they're in the Francesina. I'm only kidding. Good luck to you on your quest to see more wildlife in Portugal. Apparently, someone saw a bear recently. Oh my goodness!
Really? Wow.
I don't know. I think that was just Pete Bleach working in his garden. The last bear I recall being seen in Portugal was some 2 years ago on the Portuguese-Spanish border. That's incredible. There are no bears in the wild in Portugal. Well, or so we are told or think. There are no or very few squirrels, apparently, in Portugal. I think
it's strange. Think about the park. Like if you go to the parks anywhere in Portugal, there's no chipmunks, there's no squirrels, there's maybe I think rabbits are in the Algarve. I've seen a fair amount of rabbits in the Algarve, but beyond that, I'm like, where are all the little like hedgehog type critters?
Well, I think there are red squirrels here. I've seen a red squirrel on occasion, and yeah, it's one of those funny things that I think careful what you wish for. You're like in a London park, it's full of parakeets and grey squirrels wanting, like the monkeys of Gibraltar, almost wanting to take your stuff off you. But I think, yeah, I imagine that's a trend that we will see more squirrels, and certainly we're seeing more parakeets here, aren't we? As we see in the lovely Dom Carlos Park in Caldas de Rainha. It's been great to have you here with us this morning, Colleen. I don't want to rush you away, but I know you're busy as well. You've got this schedule. It's amazing what you do for people. How do people find out more about that service so that even if they're in the United States, for example, they can have you look at 6 houses for them on any given day, send the video, and you'll give them a full report, not only of the houses, but the location too, presumably.
Yeah, we handle it all from the first moment that you're looking to when we give you the keys when you arrive. We literally start where you are and help you from that point on. You can go to our website, to portugaltheplace.com, or you can reach out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all the normal spots.
Yep.
So you can find us really anywhere. And of course, I'm thrilled to be here. We are constantly and relentlessly committed to helping people comfortably and realistically move to Portugal. So it's just the north is another area that I think if you're not a beach person per se, where you want to lounge around on the beach and just get sun and maybe sun isn't your main driver, you really should take a look at the Minho and the north. There are just some amazing cities and opportunities that I don't know always bubble up first when you're considering moving here.
That's so wonderful. Have a great weekend. Bom fim de semana. Feliz sexta-feira. It's so good to have you. And we'll see you soon. And we'll meet other members of the team, won't we? This is is this the fourth Friday? Yes, it is. It's the fourth Friday. So we'll see you in this regular slot and we'll meet other members of the team. And maybe we'll have a little walk around Alcobaça one morning as well. Have a great weekend. Safe journey home. Cheers, Colleen. Ciao, ciao. All right. Bye for now.
Cheers.
How brilliant that she found a place of refuge away from the Spanish kids there. In the basement. Let's go quickly now. Keep that applause going because we've got Becky and Caroline to talk to about netball in a little while. But before then, let's go to Caldas de Rainha and speak to Bia this morning. Hola, bom dia, Bia.
Hello, good morning.
How are you? Good way.
Hi.
It is lovely to see you. Are you live from the Black Sheep pub in Caldas de Rainha?
Yes, I'm so sorry about the lights. I don't know.
No, you look great. It looks really cool, actually, that lighting effect. You look a rock star this morning coming to us from your bar. Tell us about the story behind the Black Sheep pub, because that sounds like a British experience, not a Portuguese one.
Yes, it's true. It's an Irish experience.
Okay, so it's an Irish theme,
Yes.
Irish atmosphere in the Black Sheep pub.
Yes.
And I noticed Bobby O'Reilly will be very happy. My friend Bobby, we showed him drinking a bit of Guinness earlier on this morning. He can get a pint of Guinness with you, can he, if he comes to Caldas de Rainha?
Yes, of course.
Okay, what else do you do there? Tell us about your menu.
So I just start to make my new menu. I start in March, and I hope I can put more vegetarian or vegan things.
Oh, really? Okay.
But of course, we have a good fish and chips. The people just love this.
Yes.
Yes.
Are they in demand? What is it about fish and chips? Why do you think people are so crazy about fish and chips?
Yes, because I use fresh fish, I use rose fish.
All right. Perfect. So
Yes.
not only do you do the fish and chips, you do fish and chips really well by the sound of it, authentically.
Yes.
And am I right? Am I right in thinking you spent a bit of time in the UK? Is this where you've picked up a few of these ideas?
No. I spent a few times in Ireland. I live in there.
Even better. Even better.
Yes.
Okay. Where
I
were
live
you?
in, 2 years and some months in Ireland. When I was young, I went there to study English.
Right.
I try to study English.
Your English is amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's easy coming onto a completely new and strange live stream first thing on a Friday morning to talk about your business. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
We've got. Oh, have a look
I
at.
really like talk with my customers. In Brazil, I'm from Brazil. I born in São Paulo. I worked for many years with after sales and automobilistic company. and I really like about hospitality. I really care about customers, and I want this place, the Black Sheep. The first thing, I want the people feeling the same in her, the house. Sorry about my English.
No, don't worry.
You know,
Yeah.
you can come here. I have good sofas to sit. We can take a good chat. Spend a few minutes. We talk about life. We laugh. Yes, I want this.
See you
This
later
is
on.
my house. You know, I made food. People just have good wine. I have really good wine here. No,
Okay.
one box wine. I have bottles good. Obidos wine. I have a lot of Obidos wine.
Do you?
Dão wine too, close to Douro, because I love Dão wine.
Do you? That's a
Yes.
funny thing. Dow wines can be quite interesting, changeable, can't they? I think it's one of the least reliable
Yes.
demarcations in Portugal, isn't it? For
In
knowing what
Portugal.
you're going to get. Yeah, in Portugal.
Yes.
When you get an Alentejo wine or a Douro wine, you know what you're going to get in many ways, but Dow can be a little bit risky. But you're a fan, are you, of the Dow wines?
Yes, because Dão, I don't know, many people, I don't know, expatriate people, I don't know if they really know. Dão is the first place where they discover is the best place to make good wines.
Didn't know
And now
that.
they just, new generation, they just recover this. Don't have a really about the wind, about the land. Everything is very good to make good wines. They just recover this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's correct to say this. Yes, but they have a really good wine.
Can't wait to come and try. So T Duck is saying good morning, Bia, to you, and he connected us, of course. I love the Black Sheep, says T Duck as well. So a big fan of you and what you do there. I can see fish and chips on the menu. Let's talk a little bit about the menu here. Padron peppers.
This is the first menu. I just put a few things to people just come and eat something, some snacks.
Yeah.
I put some Spanish things, Irish things. And I start a new menu in March.
Yeah.
And I put my main course, more options about vegetarian and vegan, because I'm vegetarian. I know how hard it is find things to eat. Vegetarian things and vegan things is hard. Some people just do salads or pasta or basic things and put some salt. And they really don't. I cannot say they really don't care, but it's hard,
Well, clearly you do.
Vegetarian people just eat salad and that's it.
Oh, that is lovely. So you're going to be working hard for vegetarian and vegan people, as well as this lovely menu here. Salt also loves the Black Sheep. You got a few of your fans here. Look at that, fish and chips, €11. Try getting that fish and chips for $9.50 in the UK nowadays from Buy Handy. So when he's in the air, I think I'll bring him over as well. The Padron peppers, they sound like they're Spanish then.
Yes,
fish and chips, which are British.
Padron pepper is a good surprise. It's interesting thing to eat because everyone is different.
Yes.
One is spice, another one is more sweet. It's a big surprise when you eat Padron pepper.
I love it. And what have you got that's Irish on there on the menus? Any Irish influences on the Black Sheep menu?
Yes, no, I don't have it now, but I want to put more, for example, shepherd pie or something like that.
Fantastic. Excellent. And I see in your dessert menu there, you have a affogato, which I think is a brilliant dessert. That's a vanilla ice cream, isn't it? With a shot of coffee over the top. Absolutely love that.
Yes. I travel a lot when I was young. I live in many years in different places. I live in Italy too, and Toscana, south of Toscana. And I have my family living there, my cousin.
Yeah.
And I have a mixed culture about this place, about this menu.
Well, Bia, it's all in there, isn't it? Your travels, your life experience, your passion for food, your passion for customer service. It's all in there in the Black Sheep menu. So I can't wait to come along and try the fish and chips. It's been lovely to meet you, muito prazer. And you're welcome anytime now. Now you know how easy it is to come and join us. Maybe when you've got your new menu, your next venue. Come and talk to us about it. And we look forward to having a little bit of a meet-up there of Gumpers and Good Morning Portugal people at your lovely bar there in Caldas de Rainha. Where in Caldas de Rainha is it? Which big landmark do people look out for to find you?
Yes, it's easy to find here. I'm very close the squares, the financial squares.
Yeah.
Just 2 minutes. You can
All right.
walk.
Superb.
Yes, just 2 minutes they walk. You have the parking here is close too.
Yeah. Superb.
Yeah, I'm behind the big church here in the main square in the
Okay, right in the middle. So there's parking down in the Camera car park there. That's probably the best view. Perfect.
Very
Black
close,
Sheep is
just
very
2 minutes.
inviting. Look, you've got a lovely review here. The Black Sheep is very inviting. They have
Every Friday we have jazz now. We start this new project. Every Friday we have jazz. Some guys they just come here, just play. We have an open mic.
Yeah.
And the last Saturday every month we have blues.
It just gets better
this
and better.
Friday we have jazz and blues.
Fantastic. And you've got kung fu chairs. Are they chairs made out of? They're so comfortable. They're made out of tofu, or is that a typo?
Yes.
I think it's a comfy chair there. Up front, and also stools at the bar, which I rarely see. So you can sit on the rail there at the Black Sheep Bar. Superb. It's been so lovely to meet you this morning, Bia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you there. And if you're a Gumper, go along, say hi. Say you're from the Good Morning Portugal show. Lovely job. Cheers, Bia. Take care. Bon fin de semana. Ciao, ciao. How wonderful. Bia there from the Black Sheep Bar. We were talking to Richard Allen of the Prohibition Bar upcoming at around 10 o'clock. He's joining us live from the site of the work that's going on there, formerly the Rex Bar, soon to be the Prohibition Bar. Between now and then, Becky, maybe Caroline, I'm not sure. We might have to ring her, get her on the phone, possibly. But Becky's here now. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Hello, Becky. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you.
It's been a little while, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yeah, last time talking about rounders, but today talking netball.
Yes, very sporty. I mean, this seems to be your life, going around in your camper van and then occasionally playing sport. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I'm not driving the van or doing something with the dogs. It's playing a bit of sport. So rounders once a month, last Saturday of the month if the weather's good, and every Thursday playing netball.
Right. Now, this is very interesting this morning because last time you were here, I think it was around the time when I came along to the rounders match that you had at the rugby pitch, which I really enjoyed. And I did get a little bit of heckling, which made me embrace my health and fitness. It was Colin Ross Jones who was on the show yesterday who shouted out, "Get a sports bra," as I was making a home run. Now I was hoping for that we wouldn't have that sort of bullying banter going on, but it happened. It happened on the rounders pitch, and it set me on a new path. Quite frankly, I had a great time. And I think you raised quite a nice lot of money for the Bearos you're raising.
Sorry, Carl. Typically, the doorbell's just rung. So the dogs have just
problem. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't you worry about it. Do you need to go and sign for something?
No, I think I just need to go and put the dogs outside.
Don't you worry. I love it. This is what happens when you get invited into people's homes, of course. But you're going to get served a full English in a minute. I know that.
I can't hear a word. You have to excuse me just a second.
Okay. Becky's going to go sort that out, and then we'll come back to her. We'll say a few hellos. Sarah's here. Bon dia, Sarah Yerman from Antonio. Oh, and more dad jokes coming in. Why have elephants got big ears? Let's give her a nice big round of applause. She's back on the screen. Hey, hello. How are you this morning?
Oh, you can't help live radio, can you?
It's fantastic. Oh, you are a live radio veteran, are you not? You did a little bit of live radio back in the day, didn't you?
Back in the day, yeah, it was a long time ago now. So hung up my microphone and my headphones probably about 15 years ago.
Did you really? Superb. Well, how did it go? Before we move on to netball, tell us about the rounders match. Was that a successful do?
Oh, it was amazing. Caldas Rugby Club did us an absolute turn. It was a great location. We had a really good turnout. I think there was somewhere between 60 and 70 people, all nationalities, and we raised just over €700 and a whole stack of water, burn cream and snacks that were then delivered to the Bomberos at Caldas and Obidos later that afternoon. So it was a really, really good day. Really
Great
good day.
job. Excellent stuff. All right. And I think that we're struggling to get Caroline to join us. The link's not working for her. But how does Caroline fit into this? And tell us a little bit more about netball then, if you will.
Sure. So Caroline is our head of umpiring and coaching at the Silver Coast Sirens. So later this month, we celebrate our 6th birthday. A lady called Suzanne Spivey set us up 6 years ago, and we've been playing every Thursday afternoon since then. Many of us haven't played netball since school. If you've not heard of netball before, it's a non-contact ball sport played by 2 teams on a court. It's something that's very common in Commonwealth countries. It's a massive sport in Australia, and there's a few European countries that play it. And typically it's something that's played at school in the UK. And many ladies go on and play as adults. Personally, I hadn't played for 30 years until I found the Sirens 2 years ago. But then you have such diversity in the Sirens team. So Caroline, for example, she played after school, took qualifications in coaching and umpiring, and played league netball when she was an adult. So we're lucky to have such experience on our team, and lots of the ladies on the Sirens team have similar levels of experience as well of playing, coaching and umpiring.
Superb. And here she is now. Your dogs have been... Let's give her a round of applause and bring her onto the screen. Hey, Caroline. Good morning to you. Well done. Good job. You joined us in the end. That's fantastic.
My technical knowledge and know-how is useless.
Well, you got there in the end. Now, I'm sure Becky won't mind. I'm just going to mute her microphone for just a moment, and whilst we talk to you for a little while. And her dogs have been nominated for Dogs of the Week here, so we need to know their names in just a moment. They have distinguished themselves this morning by joining in on the show. Your home, on the other hand, sounds relatively peaceful, Caroline. Are there no dogs there?
No dogs, but 4 cats. So there may be some cat fights in the background.
We could have a different kind of fun with 4 cats joining us, showing off their tea towel holders as they like to do on these sorts of calls as well. So let's see if how Becky's doing. What are your dogs' names, Becky? Before we move on from the dogs, they are Dogs of the Week.
Thank you. So they're both rescue dogs. Luna is the one that's old enough to know better, and Holly is the newest recruit. So Luna's from Crapper in Caldas, and Holly is from Rede Leonardo, the other shelter in Caldas, just outside Caldas. So
okay. Holly and Luna, good morning to you. You are officially Dogs of the Week here on the Good Morning Portugal show, with a new feature launched in the moment on the hoof, as suggested by a listener, Paul Rees, this morning. So, Caroline, we've heard a little bit about you. Your reputation precedes you as a netball coach. It's a surprise to me that netball isn't very well known. I mean, Portugal is sports mad, and you imagine, don't you, they know about every conceivable and possible sport here in Portugal, but not so much with netball. Is that right?
Yes, it is. I think if netball is taught in schools, then obviously it tends to take you through into later life as well. So you're familiar right from the start. Portugal doesn't play netball, and it's something that we're hoping to establish, but it tends to be the Commonwealth countries that are really keen netball players. And in fact, Australia at the moment is the world champion, with New Zealand and England following closely behind. So
a bit of a British export then. So how's it going? How is the impact being made and felt here in Portugal? And you're leading the way, obviously, with that, the ambassadorial work.
Yes, we're trying. There are more teams down in the Algarve because I think the concentration of expats and therefore ex-netball players who are familiar with netball. So they have, I think, something like 6 or 7 teams. We're trying to get one established in Lisbon at the moment, and obviously we have 2 teams here. But it's mainly being played amongst the expats because we're familiar with it.
Yeah. Okay. And to get involved in, I mean, that's what this is all about, isn't it? Presumably, is to get a few people switched on to the idea and to come along and have a go. What sort of levels of fitness are required? It sounds to me like it's quite intense, and you have to be a bit of an athlete. Is that true?
Not really. I think we obviously, if you've watched the internationals and the Super League, then it's quite frightening. But it's
like a lot of sports, right? Played at that level. Yeah.
It's at our level, it's much slower. Although I have to say that increasingly with our new members, our level is improving tremendously. But it's you play at your own pace. And one of the things I make sure as an umpire, and as all umpires, we're very conscious of safety, and therefore the rules around netball are designed to keep ladies safe, and umpires have a certain discretion to umpire a game to a certain level, and if that level is not professional level, then it will be brought down to the level that's there. And I think it's all about getting ladies enthusiastic and into the game and getting a netball head on, because it's quite a structured game.
Yeah, interesting. And you mentioned ladies there. Is it going to remain a ladies' sport? This is not a mixed team sport. Although you seem to have made an exception for me, and you've invited me along to the training session. So what's the situation with that? Is it going to be mixed, or is this one for the ladies, as it were?
It's predominantly ladies that play it, and again, this is mainly for safety reasons. In Australia, they do actually have mixed teams, but we're not aiming to have mixed teams here, because it would just be too dangerous, I think.
Okay, fair.
To have men playing alongside women, because they're much stronger, and if and certainly at our level, where we're older, if we get knocked across the court, our sense of balance is not what it used to be.
No, fair enough. There's a time and a place, isn't there, for mixed sports? So Rounders was great because it was mixed and it was all ages. But there are times when you want to be in a single gender activity as well. So fair enough. And thank you for making an exception for me on this occasion and inviting me. I feel quite honoured. It was a bit like the time when I had to go and judge the cakes at the Women's Institute. I felt it was one of those kinds of honours, I think. Becky, I think you want to add something there.
There will be cake involved, Carl.
It just gets better. Okay, fantastic.
I'm going to have to earn it, I'm afraid. So it is our 6th birthday at the end of this month, but because our founder, Suzanne, is away on her holidays this month, we're moving our birthday celebrations to the end of March. So we practice every Thursday afternoon at our court near Obidos, at the association in Capilera, and we are fortunate enough to have a little bar, cafe bar just outside. So
I know it. What a great venue.
Yeah, so we tend to stay on for drinks and just chat netters after a game on Thursday. So we'd like to invite you along to our birthday Thursday afternoon practice and invite you to actually take part in the training. We'll do a warm-up, we'll do some drills, and the ladies will take you under their wing and teach you some positions.
Oh, wow.
And join us for some birthday cake afterwards as well.
An offer I cannot refuse from the women's netball mafia.
An offer you cannot refuse, I think.
That's an offer I can't refuse. I beg your pardon. Did I say an offer? A Freudian slip. I was getting a little bit concerned and worried there. What should I wear? Not my heels, I'm guessing, on this occasion.
Definitely not. So just normal sportswear. So a good pair of trainers and whatever you would normally wear to the gym.
Dust down my green flash then for this. Okay, fair enough.
Hopefully by the end of March, we'll be in our new kit, which is one of the exciting pieces of news that we've got this year in the Sirens. We're playing in 2 tournaments later on in the year, and we've recently taken some sponsors on board so that we can start subsidising our own new kit. So hopefully by the end of March, we'll all be kitted out in our Silver Coast Sirens.
Check you out. This is fantastic. Featuring this logo, of course.
Yes.
There. That is a great logo, isn't it? With the siren on there. Brilliant stuff. I'd love to talk to you more. We have other guests joining us, Gaby and Bianca, in just a moment. But all the best with that. Happy birthday. And may you attract many more people who can come along. Women can get in touch with you. What's the best way to do that and get involved with the sirens?
Either via our Facebook page, so just Google Silver Coast Netball, or you can find us online. We've got a very comprehensive website, lots of pictures, lots of info about netball and how to get in touch with us. It's www.silvercoastnetball.com.
Fantastic. silvercoastnetball.com. We'll have another conversation in the future to see how much resemblance it bears to the sport volleyball, which is played more here and on the beaches, of course. But that'll have to be a conversation for another time. Becky, Caroline, Holly and Luna, is that right? Thank you all this morning for being on the Good Morning Portugal show, Dogs of the Week. Bon fin de semana, feliz sexta-feira. Thank you for being here. Cheers. All right, ciao, ciao. There they go. That's Becky and Caroline. Superb stuff. I think we need to keep that applause going. It's been a busy show this morning, and it's getting busier now with Gaby and Bianca joining us on the screen. Hola, bon dia.
Hola, bon dia. Good morning.
Gaby first, how's it going? Just down the road in San Martino. How are you?
I'm good. And you know what? This morning when I got up and wanted to prepare my tea, I couldn't believe my eyes. There was a huge rainbow over the San Martino de Porto. And even when I took the picture, it was a double rainbow. So it's our lucky day.
It is.
It's not only Feelgood Friday, it's the lucky Friday. I'm so excited.
Now, I don't know how it works with rainbows, but Phil and Maria, who live over at Gayrush, sent this in this morning.
Yeah.
I can see a little bit of a double rainbow there. Now, is it strictly speaking, scientifically speaking, the same rainbow, do you think? It can't be, can it? Because it's where you find yourself in relation to the prismatic effect that's going on. But it seems the Silver Coast is awash with rainbows this morning. And you're absolutely right. It's a great portent and heralding a Feelgood Friday here on the Good Morning Portugal show.
I'm going to share my picture with you later.
Please do. Yes, send that in to me. Right, you're here because we're talking about the Frequency Lounge, which I believe is happening tomorrow. I've got netball to go to, which is going to be happening. I'm going to be eating cake, and I can come along to Waves tomorrow to enjoy the Frequency Lounge and go into some sort of holistic health modality and try that. Is that right, Gaby?
That's right. And I think Bianca can just introduce you a glimpse of what it is, because I'm so fascinated. I possibly would screw it up.
Yeah, that's very honest. Okay, so we're going to the Frequency Lounge then. Bianca, tell us more about it. What's going to happen? And I believe your husband is there playing jazz piano as well. How is this all going to work?
Yes. Good morning, everyone from Aceitão. I'm in the south of Lisbon, in Margem Sul, and tomorrow I will go to São Martinho do Porto, and I'm very excited to present you some information about holistic health. Fabulous. And let me a little bit tell you about what we are doing. So my name is Bianca. I'm originally from Germany, and yes, I'm working as a naturopath, a non-medical practitioner for over 20 years. And 3 years ago, I discovered a very small but incredible, innovative frequency device. It's called Healy. It's by a German inventor. And we have over 9 million different frequency to apply on the human's body and as well on the bodies of animals, and I'm really fascinating about this. And tomorrow we will show the people how it works. It works with microcurrent, it works holistic, and it can balance you in every kind of every way of your life, your health, your mental balance, and it works on the root of your causes.
Fantastic. So it is a relaxing therapy, but also it deals with chronic and acute conditions as well. It can deal with all manner of health issues.
It can support acute and chronic diseases as well. Yeah. It's a medical device in the European Union. It's had a certification for migraine, for fibromyalgia, for chronic skeleton pain, for depressions and anxiety, and as well for sleeplessness, or what's the right word? Sorry for my English. I'm from Germany.
Insomnia, possibly.
Insomnia. Yes, it's insomnia.
Well, that sounds amazing, and we can get to try it tomorrow. And is it called Healy World? Is that the thing? Is that your business?
Yes, the company is Healy World. It's a German company. The inventor is Markus Schmieke. He's a physician, and Christian Halper. He's the investor, and they are combining the spiritual world, yes, the world of consciousness, with a world of science.
Wonderful. That's where we're at right now, isn't it? That's where all the action is, I would say. Would you agree, Gaby? I mean, bringing these two things together, you could argue sort of pharmaceutically just recently, we are going through an interesting time. I'll put it like that. Everything's come down, it seems, to like the humans have got a problem. Okay, well, we've got a chemical for that. Take the chemical. And the results are mixed, we have to say. I mean, it can give you relief, and it can be quite the miracle to have a condition dealt with pharmaceutically. But it seems that other therapies, other possibilities, other bigger thinking has been pushed out to the margins in recent years as a result. What would you say about that, Gaby?
Yeah, I think, when I started with yoga some, 8 or 9 years ago, and, the yoga classes is about physical training and postures, but it's always combined with music. And to me, music resonates. I really get goosebumps when I talk about it, because this kind of vibrations and this kind of energy from this music had an impact on my well-being, on my spiritual development, and on my consciousness, actually. And I so began to study about quantum physics, and I learned a lot of more holistic lifestyle. And I came across that really frequency have an impact on us, and you can feel it if there's someone next to you that has brilliant vibrations. They can actually make you feel good. And so with all these kind of experiences, actually my family doctor at home at Germany, she told me about a new thing and a little device, because she used to have a big tool at her praxis. And so I got more into that. And I think since a couple of years, I can really feel that when I'm talking about good vibrations, sometimes you get to know people. Oh, yes, I know about frequencies. And so this is what really pulled me into that. And a couple of months ago, I met Bianca on Facebook, of course, and immediately connected. And it was like we knew each other for ages. And that was such a, it was just an exchange of energies. We are like-minded. We have the same ideas. We are two very active people. And, I came to Portugal like 3 years ago and said, now I'm retired. I'm going to start up my new decade of a well-being, of a fulfilled life, of the splendors of the Portuguese cuisine and food and drinking and good vibrations. And that's what it's all about.
That's my kind of holism and holistic awareness. I mean, it's not like polar thinking, is it, or binary thinking, this or that, this is better than that. This is taking the best from every area of life by the sound of it. And Joao Denot is asking, is that the study of holism? Well, you could say that. It could be the study of some interesting rabbit holes, for sure. And good vibrations, Beach Boys, of course, were way ahead on this idea. So we are talking, Bianca, essentially about sound therapy, sound healing, are we? This is what we might be able to experience tomorrow.
Yes. Everything is energy. Yes. I have a quote of Nikola Tesla. He said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequencies, and vibration. And everything is vibration. When I don't know if you know solfeggio frequencies.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are used in the Middle Age and before to heal people. Yeah. And we have these frequencies in our device as well. And we have a whole program group with the solfeggio frequencies. And you have in every holistic healing practice.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, you have this kind of knowledge. Think about meridians, yes, traditional Chinese medicine. We have these frequencies, and you can put every knowledge into frequencies.
Yeah.
And that's the secret, yes. And we are frequency and energy too. Yeah.
Of course we are. Of course we are. And you know that, don't you? When you sit next to somebody and they're a little ray of sunshine, that's a very different experience to sitting next to someone who's full of
Yes.
concerns, negativity, and doubt.
Yes. Yeah. And we combine this with music because back then I studied jazz singing. Yes, I'm a educated jazz singer. And my husband, he's a piano player, a professional piano player, and we moved to Portugal 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago. And now we combine this. Yes, the people will hear music, jazz music, and we talk about holistic frequencies, and they can try. We can make an aura photo of you with this device. It's very, very.
I can't wait. Okay, so this is tomorrow, and you're coming. I need to make mention of where you're coming from. As a toner, is that right? As a toner.
Yeah,
as a town. What a beautiful town that is. This is where you find the Bacalhau winemakers are in.
Yes. I can walk and have a wine and walk.
It's beautiful. That place has a great vibration.
If you have the chance to come, the Arrábida beaches are
they are amazing, aren't they? And you've got the Lagoa de Albufeira, not far from there. These are places of great vibes that we're talking about.
Yes, you have these, in German we say Kraftplätze, or places of power. Yes, you are there and you feel the energy of the universe and of nature and everything.
Well, I hope this show's like that. And you know what? We had a little bit of a demonstration earlier on when Rebecca was here and her dogs were barking in the background.
Yeah.
That sound vibration was disturbing, very disturbing. She was embarrassed about it, obviously, because she was trying to talk. And members of our audience could barely hear what was going on. And I'm not saying this to criticize. I'm saying this is the effect. The sound vibration of the dog barking is about warning and danger, isn't it? And we were soaking that up. Conversely, or additionally, or complementarily, Rebecca, I think, is a cat owner. When a cat sits on you and starts purring, if you're okay with that, that's quite a healing vibration there, isn't it? And I think cat healing is a thing for some people.
Yeah. And even, in Portugal, this is such a Catholic country. And you have, as well as in Germany too, you have the churches and the ring the bell, almost like every quarter of an hour or every hour. And this bell ringing, the sound, is quite a healing frequency.
Yeah.
And they could find it out. The former bells were made like they would produce a certain frequency to heal. And I have experienced this because I was going to school in a boarding school from Catholic nuns, and we had to go. We were supposed to go to church 2 times a week and on Sundays, which annoyed me a lot. But anyways, I know this is really true. When the bell was ringing, I got goosebumps. And when the organ was playing these chants, I was thinking, wow, that really touches me.
Yeah.
So,
right.
I mean, this is so.
Well, there's always something, isn't there, behind the ritual and the ideology. Going back, the sounds, how the organ is built, the songs we sing. There is something in that for sure, isn't there? That's very nourishing. And I too had a similar. I wasn't raised by nuns, so as it were, but I went to quite a religious school with a chapel and everything. And there was something really good about it. There was something really annoying about it, but there was something also very good about it as well. That I think was ancient and primal and vibrational and energetic, rather than the mental stuff that we seem to have devolved into. Om is a deep state vibration. So we're going to be omming tomorrow with husband Hans Fuecker as well, I think, playing jazz piano. Just in conclusion, then, if you will, Bianca and Gaby, can you tell us a little bit more about the event tomorrow and how people can join you and come along?
So actually, it's an open event. You're all invited. It's completely for free. We love to gather people who are interested in meeting people, getting to know what we are so fond of, and we would love to show you, to explain you. If you have any questions, we just receive you. We will have snacks and we'll have drinks.
I'm
It's
in.
also, it's
I'm in.
also
I've had so many great invitations this morning. Netball and cake, and now sound healing, jazz piano, and snacks on the seafront at San Martino de Porto. I'll see you there. And this is between 3 and 5 tomorrow at the Waves restaurant, is it?
right. We'll be there, and we'll be happy to receive any one of you. And welcome. Bem-vindos.
Bem-vindo. Thank you so much. What a lovely, warm invitation, and what I'm sure an amazing afternoon it's going to be. Thank you very much indeed. And we didn't even get a chance to talk about jazz, which I'd have loved to have done, but we're going to have to pass
We'll
on
do
the
that
music.
tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll hand over the musical baton to Richard Allen in just a moment, who's going to be joining us from the site of the Prohibition Bar.
Great.
So, Gaby, Bianca, great to meet you. Muito prazer, Bianca. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Obrigada.
Good job. Right. Don't worry, T-Duck. Those dad jokes I'm going to do with Richard Allen because I know he likes a little bit of a giggle. But let's first of all give him a round of applause and bring him on and see what's going on over there in Obidos. How do you say it, Richard? Do you say Obidos or do you say Ubj?
Ubj.
Ubj, very good. Like
Definitely.
a natural, like a native there, mate.
Definitely.
How are you? What's going on there?
Yes, it's all happening now. The retirement continues to get busier and busier.
Yeah, what retirement?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure what retirement. Yeah, it was. We'd had, I suppose, a tongue-in-cheek conversations with a lot of people, especially the lads at the football that I'm with over at Nadadoro, the strollers, and they always said, "Oh, you should take on that bar. You should get that bar." And we always joked about it.
In your head, aren't they? Go
yeah,
on,
always those damn voices. And then finally, when we knew the incumbent was going to leave, it became a real possibility, I suppose. And then Simon Pilkington, a good friend of mine, and a drinker and fellow member of our Prohibition Club, which I've talked to you about before, which was created a few years ago for a group of us to get together for a quiet drink. So Simon said, well, let's give it a go. So we actually said, well, let's test the water and see. The only thing that I wanted to be absolutely sure of was I didn't want it to be a single person or partnership owned business. I wanted it to be really along the lines of Communities Unite.
Well said,
and try and spread the ownership of the business to as many people as possible. So we got we just invited, we put it out on Facebook, on the normal groups, on the Communities Unite group, and said, look, we're going to start. This is not a not for profit like Communities Unite. This is going to be a proper business.
Yeah.
But what we want is as many investors as possible to have shared ownership of this place. And then we make it a real community hub for social gatherings, charitable events, music, especially at the heart of it all. Yeah. We thought, why not call it the Prohibition Club? So we went in, or we should say, Oi Proibido, which is the forbidden in Portuguese.
There we go, in Portuguese. That's fantastic. Can we have a little look now? And what we're talking about here is the what was the Rex Bar before. So shout out to Simon Gotto for bringing it that far. And what an amazing and challenging journey he had for all sorts of reasons at the Rex Bar. And now he's passed on the baton to you, O Prohibido, and you're going to be the Prohibition Bar there in Obj. So tell us more, show us more, if you will. Just do a bit of a show.
Okay, so I'm trying to work out on here how to reverse my camera. Is it actually possible on here?
It is possible. It's not always easy.
It's
almost like a yoga move.
If not, we'll have to do it the other way around, and then we'll see what happens.
Don't worry. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Let's have a look. No, it doesn't actually allow me to switch that around. So what I'm going to do, I'll do this.
Lovely sunny day there, Rich.
It wasn't earlier, but it is now. This is the ever-present Barry. Say hello, Barry.
Hola, bon dia, Barry.
Everybody's helping here. So this was the beer garden, as most people will remember. Been a lot of work going into rejuvenating these lovely barrels, which needed a lot of work. We've cleared the site completely now, and then this building is going to come down, or this lean-to, it's going to be made bigger and come out about 2 meters. And that will be our indoor music and sort of game sports area with a big TV, etc. in there. And then as we move in here, we get into where the real work's starting. We're just laying the new tiles today. So
My
hopefully
goodness,
you
it's
can see.
all go there, isn't it?
It really is, no. I mean, it really is. This bar's been rejuvenated with this beautiful piece of, a lovely
Lovely bit of wood.
piece of, which we've worked very hard on. Bit of Douglas fir there. It's all painted up already now. We're pretty good. There's going to be, hopefully, if we get the proper permissions, they're all going to be glass doors at the entrance.
Yeah.
And that will shine onto this bar. There's going to be a huge bar.
All right, we've gone dark there for a minute, Richard. It's gone all black. But that will be the atmosphere sometimes when there's certain kinds of bands playing. It will be all dark in the old Prohibidos.
Let's try and find you again now. Can't find you at all.
Prohibidos in Obidos there. That's amazing. Okay, so we're just re-establishing the connection with Richard now. Hopefully.
Do you want me to I'll rejoin.
Yeah. Just come back on the link in just a moment, then, and we'll do the dad jokes with you. While you're doing that, let's show you what's going on in the Bairrada district this weekend. Food in Ancash near Anadia, a night of fado you can enjoy there. Soup festival in Palhaça Bairrada as well. Always a good soup festival going on, it seems, in the Bairrada district. Thanks to Bairrandi for these. Another night of fado and a banquet at Quinta do Cavalheiro in Mamarosa. We've also got look at that, Arroz de Gallo. There we've got chicken rice, might have a bit of chicken's blood in it as well in Mamarosa. A 10k walk in Luso, that'll be lovely, where the water comes out the ground in Luso near Busaco there, and the wonderful Palace Hotel and grounds, and a motorcycle meetup. If you like your bikes, a meetup, ride out, and lunch in Cantanhede. Thank you very much, Bairrandi, for those. Let's bring Rich back onto the screen now. Got you back there. This is looking amazing, Richard. When do you plan to open?
Well, optimistically, we do think we're on target. Good Friday, March the 29th.
How about that? Okay,
Yeah,
rock and roll. Because when Simon was there,
I have to give a massive shout out. As I was saying earlier, the turnout for the original meeting to see if this whole thing was possible, we had over 80 people turn up. Both
tells you something, doesn't it?
Portuguese.
Yes. Now, what's that about, Rich? Is this because there is a latent reservoir of energy and good feeling that just needs a project of this kind to come out?
I think Communities Unite's had a lot to do with it.
Sure.
I think sadly losing Pit Stop has had a lot to do with it too.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think everyone wants a sort of if you want a proper bar, although we're going to be doing lovely food, fantastic petiscos, it is mainly going to be about a bar in a speakeasy theme with music at its heart. And I think what's happening is people just don't have that place to go to at the minute. They really don't. It doesn't exist. Not really even in Caldas. So I think we're hopefully filling that void. But equally, I think what we're doing is by bringing a lot of people in on the project itself and being literally involved and have ownership in it. You already got 80 odd people that want this place to succeed. And I think on that basis and limiting the amount of money that people could invest, it means that actually now a whole heap of people will own this business. And I couldn't think of anything better than that.
Sounds wonderful, and it will have your characteristic, I was going to say traditional. Communities Unite is not that old, but part of the ethics of Communities Unite is to bring the Portuguese and foreign communities together, and I'm sure that will be a theme that will run on in this bar as well, right?
Massively. We're going to be priced as well at what Portuguese locals expect, and rightly so. They expect not to pay more than 80 euro cents for a coffee, or under €3 for a caneca of decent beer. And we're going to make sure that happens. And there's going to be standard Portuguese fare on the menus as well, which will be done our way, but it will also be realistically priced. And so we encourage the locals to come in as well as the expat community. And I think that's just so crucially important.
Well done, mate. This sounds fantastic. Leslie saying, looks great. Can't wait to have. He's got a Spanish. We've got a Spanish translation from Leslie now. El Prohibito as well. Maybe we can have that in all sorts of languages on the front door. Question from Owen for you, Richard. Will you be selling craft ales as well as the usual suspects?
We absolutely will. And the other most important thing for us is we're going to be sourcing those locally. So we've got already the Bordallo boys involved. We've got Malika involved. we've got Netush involved, we've got Ansem down at Lorinia involved.
Yes!
And they're going to be actually on tap as well. We're going to have a whole heap of beers on tap, and investing in a beer cooling walk-in fridge so the beers will keep properly. And it's at our heart. Music and beer.
This is amazing. This is an incredible thing that's happening in that community over there. So well done, all of you. I know it's a team effort. And for the team now, we conclude, I think it's right. If you need a little bit of shot in the arm as far as the energy of the workers goes, let's give them some dad jokes now, because I think they'll like these this morning as we take them into the weekend. And lies we tell our kids, because I think there's probably a few dads and granddads there who will recognize a few of these as well and might like to use them. Joao de Nord, this is an old classic. Why have elephants got big ears? Because nobody would pay the ransom. That's an oldie but goodie. Just warming up there with the dad jokes. Lies we tell our kids then. If you cross your eyes, they'll get stuck that way. This won't hurt. We've all said this as parents, haven't we? And ow! And if you don't stop lying, you'll end up as a fact checker for Facebook. That's a very modern one. Lies we tell our kids there. On to the dad jokes then. My wife thought our kids were spoiled, but I think most kids smell that way. That's very good. Kids know nothing about the struggle of buying an entire album for just one song. Isn't that the truth, Rich? We don't have to do that anymore.
Do you know what? It is true, and I've got. If we're cutting off now, I was thinking of a really crummy joke that I could tell you as a dad joke, and there's nothing more applicable, and then I'll sign off. So a man walks into a bar, iron bar.
Well, hey, no, you're not done yet. I can't let you go on that note. Look at this. Now, this might be an issue at the new bar with the clientele that you've mentioned. I tried to dance last weekend, but my knees were louder than the music. That is definitely a Communities Unite thing. What do we do about that? What, have another Kaneka or eat more fish oil? What would you say is the right way to approach that? Turn the music up.
Yeah, absolutely. Make it louder. Just it'll go along with your knocking knees in time. That's not a problem.
There you go. That's the new strapline for the Prohibition Bar, where the music is louder than your knees. How about that?
I like it.
Rich.
Yeah.
What a fantastic project. Keep us involved. Keep popping back and let us know what's going on.
Of course I will.
We'd love
Absolutely.
to be doing it. All right, mate.
We'll give you a shout.
Thank you. Superb. Let's leave it there, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here. All our wonderful guests. Take it easy. Have fun. And we'll see you on Monday for a bit of relaxation and mindful migration. See you then. Ciao, ciao. Bon fin de semana.
Bom dia, Portugal! In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another